Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Just kidding, Sweaty Jen back again. Today's video is going to be a life update. I have been watching too much Tiger King. I apologize for one, the horrible video quality. I'm having some technical difficulties with the usual setup, aka I need a better charger. And I apologize for this giant headset too. It's the best like kind of audio device that I have working right now, and the laptop's audio is terrible, so we'll make do with what we have. Basically, I feel compelled to make today's video because it's starting to heat up where I live at least, and that prompts me to start feeling a little bit worried about the heat coming. So I thought I'd check in with you guys and see how you're doing. I know the changing of the seasons for me has been pretty hard this year so far. Even since filming my benefits of hyperhidrosis video, I've had even more flare-ups like I was having last week too, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the weather's changing. So I hope once the weather kind of stabilizes and is permanently warm, I guess, I hope my sweating calms down a bit, but usually that's not really the case, and it stinks that the medication glycopyrrolate that I'm taking isn't like working that great. But the days that it does work are magnificent, so I'll keep taking it for now unless it stops working forever, then it's kind of pointless. But yeah, um, the side effects have been pretty bad. Like a few days this week, I've taken half of my dose or none because the dry mouth and the dry nose and stuff is just too much to bear right now. But anyways, onto a more positive note, which is the fact that not many of us are needing to do handshakes lately. I've also got a huge mug of coffee here. Delish. Dunkin' Donuts just stocked up on a huge container of half and half and coffee, so I'm happy. Hot coffee on a hot day. Actually, I heard somewhere, I don't remember where I learned this, if it was in school or what, but somewhere I heard that when you're feeling hot, you should drink hot liquids because it actually helps encourage your body to cool down your core temperature. And when you're cold, you should drink cold liquids because it encourages your body to heat up your core temperature. And I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I guess let's test it out. Okay, so right now I feel pretty bleeping hot. We'll drink a lot of coffee and see if it starts having a cooling effect. Oh, my hands are sweating up a storm right now, you guys. Sweating up a storm. I doubt you can tell. I'm definitely gonna have pit stains. Anyways, a more positive note. Honestly, I feel a little bit cooler already. It's been like a minute. So, on a more positive note, the fact that a lot of us haven't been having to shake hands lately, I see a lot of people in the support groups on Reddit saying how they've found that to be a huge perk of the coronavirus. And obviously, this isn't to make light of the seriousness of the virus or anything like that. It's just like one of those small things that hyperhidrosis people have noticed is a little perk that's happening. And I wonder if this no handshake kind of mindset that a lot of people have adopted, if this will continue past the point of this virus being a big event happening, or will the traditional normal handshake return pretty quickly? So I'm interested to see how that pans out. I think it'll be kind of a mixture, like I think the more traditional, older generation people are gonna want to stick with the traditional handshake, but I think more of the younger people are gonna be like, what's really the need for it? I mean, a polite smile and a nice to meet you is polite enough. I don't think that a handshake is a necessity that absolutely needs to continue on. I saw someone say they were planning to like continue saying no to handshakes even once handshakes are back to being a thing. And someone was like, yeah, uh, some hiring managers and stuff are already frowning upon comments like that. And first, I think that's crazy considering we're in a global pandemic. No handshaking should be happening. And also, it's just a preference thing. What's there to frown about? Why is handshaking such an end all be all thing for so many people? Like, I know a lot of men get judged off of how firm their handshake is, or like if their hands are clammy or sweaty. And women, too, I'm sure, get judged based on the gentleness or whatever of their handshakes. And I don't know. I'm totally on board to end handshaking for sure. Like, I really don't see why we need to shake hands, virus or no virus. That being said, I am a bit of a germaphobe. I've mentioned this in a previous life update video saying how like I'm a really big hand washer and I'm a bit of a germaphobe. And being a germaphobe in what's happening right now has definitely taken a toll on my anxiety levels. I will say that for sure. I've felt really anxious since the first cases were confirmed here in Chicago. I've been washing all of my clothes and stuff on hot, which isn't necessarily good for some of the items, but I'm just so paranoid with the virus, and it definitely is spiking up my anxiety through the roof. And part of me is wondering if the weather changing and stuff like that, is that what's increasing my sweating? Or is it the anxiety, the increased stress and panicking thoughts that I've been having? Is that what's increasing my sweating? And I keep telling myself a lot of what I'm thinking is probably irrational and not going to happen, and things will eventually return back to normal. But, you know, when you have anxiety, it's really hard to keep those thoughts at bay sometimes. They just keep coming back. I never thought I'd see something like the coronavirus in my lifetime. I never even like imagined something like this. It was beyond imagination. But back to the germs and the no handshaking and just social distancing in general. I've always kind of been the type of person to be like in my own bubble anyways and not really want people in my bubble. Since the social distancing has started, I've noticed some people blatantly ignoring it. When I went grocery shopping recently, it was absolutely crazy. So people were like crowding around certain areas just waiting to like waiting their turn, and it's a 6 foot rule, and people were like, instead of standing 1 foot apart, they were standing 2 feet apart, and they're like, this is fine. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to skedaddle on out of this area for now and come back. And so then I'm like doing some more shopping, and I needed yogurt. So I stopped by the yogurt and egg aisle, and it was like worse than the milk aisle. There was just so many people, and this time they were like within inches of one another. In the yogurt aisle, it was so bad that I just straight up turned around and I couldn't do it. I really wanted some yogurt. It's a very healthy, nice snack. It's good for your gut. It's one of my favorite snacks. That anxiety was so high in that moment with the employee and the 7 ladies looking at the yogurt. It's not even worth it for yogurt at this point, and I left without it. I bought way too much Easter candy and chocolates and and stuff because I couldn't get my sweets fix from my yogurt. So I'm like, well, now I gotta buy more candy. So I've got sweet stuff to snack on. And so I go to check out with my husband, and we're standing in the self checkout area. And on the floor, there's all these like red square stickers saying, please social distance, 6 feet apart. And they're playing these announcements on the loudspeakers to please stay 6 feet apart. And nobody's listening to the announcements, and nobody's listening to the stickers. For some reason, people think 6 feet is like this much. And it's like, that's not 6 feet. That is not. Finally, like, okay, we're in the self-checkout. It's packed. Every self-checkout thing's full. Luckily, we get into this one where I'm feeling like it'll be out of the way. All of a sudden, this employee comes buzzing up next to me. Like, I could feel my hair move. She was so close. And I'm like, okay, stay calm. Don't breathe. Just stay calm. She's not going to do it again. Like, it was definitely just like a one-off thing. I'm like, there's no way that's going to happen again, right? I continue ringing up my item. Again, she comes by me again, right? So close that I smelled her breath. And my panic shoots up. Like, it was here and it's here now. And I'm like, she's been around people all day. She doesn't social distance. Like, no. And so I like move over to switch spots with my husband to sacrifice him. I push him into the spot where she keeps walking past, and I'm like, okay, this is a little better. But then on this side, I've got like a bunch of strangers waiting in line, and they're like inching up, getting impatient, sick of waiting. They're inching up slowly, getting closer and closer to me, and I'm just like watching them out of the corner of my eye. Multiple times there, it was like, in the self-checkout thing when it thinks you like put something into the bagging area or took something out and you didn't, and then the employee has to come over and like type in their employee number and say it's fine. That happened 3 times while I was there, and all 3 times she just came bustling up without warning right in between me and my husband to get into the touchscreen area, and like there wasn't 6 feet to distance from her, because if we tried to distance ourselves from her, we would be right next to someone else, and then like it was vicious cycle. It was so overcrowded, and I also noticed a big help mentally for me has honestly been making YouTube videos and knowing you guys understand what I'm going through. Like all of this week, my sweating's been pretty bad, and during the really tough times, I was thinking back, like, wow, 1 year ago, if I was sweating like this, there's zero doubt in my mind that I would be crying right now. I used to cry a lot when my sweating was out of control, and it made me really sad. Like, I would just cry because I hated it, and I was like, why me? Why is this happening? Now, this week, I was thinking, wow, like, look at me. I'm sweating, and I'm a little bit annoyed and not feeling the happiest about it, but I'm not crying, because a lot of times when I start sweating, I think about you guys and just everybody out there whose stories I've read in the different support groups. I think about how there's people out there who do understand how I'm feeling, and we will get through it, even though it feels like we'll never stop sweating. Eventually, we do stop, and so having like access to support groups and having access to hearing what other people have gone through and how they've dealt with certain situations, that's honestly helped my mental health more than I thought was possible. And I'm really thankful for that, because it feels good not to get so sad and upset every time I start sweating now. I don't have anything else to say besides that I hope you all have a great week, and I hope the transition into the warmer months aren't too bad for you. Leave me a comment down below with how the weather has been with your hyperhidrosis lately. Let me know how you've been feeling with the coronavirus stuff going on, and just tell me how you're doing. If you've got any video ideas or things you want to see, please let me know those too. I am working on some other ideas right now, so if you've asked or if you've suggested a video idea and you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, I've got them all written down and I will get to them. And everybody stay safe, wash your hands, of course, and I'll see you soon. Bye.